Hello there. I am very, very happy to have our LinkedIn Live. Um, First of all, I want to say the next couple of weeks we have some really special guests coming. But this week, I really wanted to address something that happens to each and every one of us. And that is life doesn't always go as planned. We make the best plans that we can based on what we know, the knowledge we have, and then things go haywire. If I would think of the most impactful thing that has affected my life was I lived in California and I came to Florida to come to Mayo Hospital. And for different reasons, and I won't go into the details, but like relationships and things like that, I ended up staying here in Florida. And at the time, I thought that was the worst possible thing that could happen to me. And I was literally, I admit it, for 2 years, I was just grief. I just had so much grief because I, lived in Santa Barbara, which is a very beautiful community. And I had a place in the community. I had my coaching business there. And the last thing I wanted to do was to end up in Jacksonville, Florida. And so, during that period of time, those 2 years, anyone that would listen, I would tell them, I'm stuck here in Jacksonville. I can't believe it. I will say that things happened, and I am here. I've been here over 20 years, and I bought a home, and I have lots of friends, and I've built a life here. So a lot of things that have happened, I probably wouldn't have been online. I don't know. With my coaching business, finding clients, I felt all over the world because I would have had an in-person business in California, maybe. But anyway, what I want to talk about is 5 steps, 5 things that you can do when you make a plan, the best that you can, and then it doesn't work out or it flops. Is the first thing you want to do is you want to get out of denial that it's not working. A lot of people stay stuck because rather than admit that it didn't work, prefer to keep trying the same thing over and over again. That's not working because you don't want to admit that the first plan failed. Admit it. Just say, okay, I tried it this way. There's another way, but I don't have to give up. But I'm going to admit that this way didn't work. I have another business going, and I ran an ad, and I have a team of people that work for me, and did everything. And the first ad worked, part of it, half of it worked, half of it didn't. And we had to just admit it. And now let's go back to the drawing board. The second thing is that you want to acknowledge what the problem is. Okay, this is what I was going to do. What is the problem? For example, in my advertisement of my new business, the ad worked, but then when the people went to the landing page or the web page to be able to register for my new business, it sucked. Basically, it didn't do the job. So once I identified that, now we've worked with it, and I've gone to experts and gotten guidance on how to do it. So you want to acknowledge what is the problem that it didn't work. Was it because I didn't have enough information, or I didn't do it right? Was it due to finances or sickness? Was it other people, or was it circumstances? Identify, acknowledge it didn't work, one. Number 2 is, what is the reason it didn't work? And write down the top 3 reasons it didn't work so that you can then address what didn't work. The third thing is, what's next? Once you identify what didn't work, then you need to plan a strategy for what you need to do to change it. And a lot of times I'll tell you, and this is for me, I want it done yesterday. So it was when things don't work, I want to hurry and rush and try to re-implement. But a lot of times you have to take your breath. You have to think it through. And actually, with the work that I've been doing, it just took me a week or so to kind of digest and kind of get more information and talk to experts. And no one did it fast enough. But I'm so glad that I was able to spend a moment to just rest, Figure out what the strategies were. So what's next is step 1, step 2, steps 3, step 4, step 5, and then start to implement those steps. Which brings us to 4, don't beat yourself up because it's not happening as fast as you want to. Because you want it to be able to do it the right way. So, a lot of times, it's just like, for example, when I gave the example of my new business, um, there were different people involved and people were traveling, and then people didn't get back to me with the information when I talked to the experts to get the information. So everything was going at a snail's pace. And this is the time you can start to beat yourself up and think, why did it happen this way? And why is it going this way? And I really want this to happen now. I want it now. I want it yesterday. Chill, chill. Because if you start beating yourself up, you start beating your staff up, you start being unhappy with the circumstances, life happens. And so when you have a deadline, we had to move our project out 2 weeks. Was that the ideal thing? No. Well, actually, I'm going to say it was the ideal thing because it's better to do it right than to just throw something together because the first one didn't work. Get all the information. Stop. Talk to people. Get guidance. Talk to a coach. Talk to someone who's a mentor so that you can get it right or figure out what's the next steps are to implement it. And you may have to repeat this again and again. Again and again, you will have to do this, but that's how we fail forward. We fail forward. We fail forward. And that's how we achieve. And that's the difference between multimillionaires and people who are worker bees, is they're not willing to take the risk to fail. But if you fail, and I know with lawyers, it's like, oh, I can't fail. I was talking to one of my clients the other day, and it was a big trial and things like that. And they have to try different things in order to win. Now, the last one, number 5, is don't give up. And so you have a plan. And, and I just got to say this. There's a difference between when you make a plan and the plan isn't solid, it isn't really based on reality, or it's something that you have pie in the sky. And pie in the sky is even good if you're willing to keep failing forward until you achieve the goal. If you want to change career, for lawyers, you may want to change your law practice. You want to change your practice area. You may want to add another area of the country or another city into your practice. Those all things are incremental that you need to take steps to do that. And you may get stalled along the way with each step, but you still don't give up. You just say, okay, what is the thing I need to do to move it to the next level? So it's like a continuum of doing the same actions, adjusting what you need to do, making strategies, going back to the drawing board and failing forward. You make adjustments. You let life happen. And the most important thing, and I'm going to just say is number 6, and this is going to be very short, but the last thing is don't beat yourself up along the way. Because if you beat yourself up along the way as you fail, you're not going to want to continue. But if you kind of say, okay, if you could use each failure as a learning opportunity and learn from it, you're a better person and you will get closer to your goal. Or maybe along the way, you may adjust your goal. But, you cannot be someone who beats himself up, because otherwise you won't take risks. You won't set impossible goals. You won't go beyond your comfort zone. So anyway, that's my LinkedIn Live for today. And I'm very happy that you all joined me. And we have to look and see how we can continually to grow. If we continue to grow, if we continue to learn. I was at my doctor's office the other day, and and I'm 75, right? And my doctor says, "And you're opening a new business? That's unbelievable. You have people working for you, and you have this whole thing going, and you're 75." Yeah, I'm excited. You want to be able to wake up every morning feeling excited, loving life, and really reaching for your goals. And I'm over and out, and I'll see you next Wednesday at 12:30. Bye-bye.